Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Alex and this is TechFlow. This is our first ever laptop review. So I'm going out on a limb here. Let us know how we do in the comment section down below. Today we're looking at the LG Gram. I first saw this laptop at CES of 2017 at the LG booth where I was drooling over their new TVs, and the laptops didn't really shout at me. I thought this was just another attempt at a company trying to copy the outdated MacBook Air. LG offered to send out the laptop to me. I spent some time with it, and boy was I wrong. Right, so let's start with the looks. I'm digging the dark silver space grey look of this machine. It's made out of magnesium, and that's key to it being so light. It's shockingly light. You can pick this thing up with 2 fingers right in the corner of it. It's incredible. You'd think with the laptop being so light, you wouldn't be able to open the laptop lid with 1 finger, something that I think is a must for a laptop in 2017. And with this laptop, you can lift up the lid with 1 finger. Amazing. Right, let's look at I/O. Around the side of the device, we've got an annoyingly flimsy power port. I'd love to see something a little bit more substantial, as it really is a little bit flimsy. I feel like it's going to break. However, you can charge this thing through USB-C. Next to the power port, we've got that USB 3 cable, next to that an HDMI output, and then that beloved USB-C port. So yes, technically you can have 1 USB-C cable up to your monitor, transferring power back to the laptop to charge it, transferring 4K images to the monitor, as well as using the monitor, if it supports it, as a USB hub. Really cool through 1 cable. On the other side of the laptop, we've got a Kensington lock, 2 more USB ports, one being a super speed port, a headphone jack, and a micro SD card reader? What? Why would you even bother putting a micro SD card reader on a laptop? I'd have preferred you to add a little bit more weight and put a full-sized card reader in this thing. There's no point in that. I'm never going to use it. Unless you heavily use a GoPro or an Android phone. Opening the laptop up, you've got a beautiful 1080p screen. Now, a lot of you will be raising your eyebrows thinking, Alex, a brand new laptop for 2017 with a 1080p screen? You having a laugh? Is it not 4K? Not even 2K? What is this? Well, the screen size comes in at 15.6 inches. And in my humble personal opinion, I think that 1080p suits this machine greatly. It looks absolutely stunning. It's sharp enough for pretty much anything you want to do on it. And the reason they've only put a 1080p screen in this laptop is to number 1, save on battery life, and number 2, save on processing power. This thing really doesn't need a 2K or 4K screen. 1080p does it just fine. It's crisp, it's very crisp whilst being sharp, and it has pretty good viewing angles. Ooh, the keyboard. Now the keyboard is backlit with 3 brightness levels. This is a great upgrade from last year's model that didn't include a backlit keyboard at all, so props for that one. There's not really much to say about the keyboard. It's great having a full-size numpad to the right-hand side of the laptop. The keys have pretty good travel considering how thin this machine is. It doesn't make too much noise, and it was a pleasure to type on. The keyboard gets a thumbs up from me. The trackpad is okay. When you first get the laptop and log into the included Windows 10, I'd highly recommend you go into the trackpad settings and turn off the delay, which is funnily set to medium. It's a bit laggy. Turning this off made it a bit better, but it still wasn't perfect. It's hard to explain, I just thought that the trackpad seemed a little laggy when moving the cursor. Not when I put an external mouse onto it, but just the trackpad. It's really odd. You can left click anywhere on the surface of the trackpad, and right click is in the bottom right as usual, or a double finger tap. Really intuitive. It just needs to be a little bit more responsive. Under the hood, we've got 16 gigs of RAM, a 7th gen Core i7 at 2.7, turbo boosted to 3.5, and Intel graphics 620. My model has a 512GB SSD as well as a touchscreen? Yeah, a touchscreen. I've always found touchscreens a little bit of a gimmick, especially if you can't fold the laptop over and get rid of the keyboard altogether. Having to reach up past the keyboard and past the trackpad seems very unnatural, and I've never really used a touchscreen whilst having this laptop. But saying that, it's a nice feature to have if you need it or want it, but it's a bit of a gimmick. So Alex, you said the laptop looks pretty good, it feels pretty good, it's light, it's awesome, it's got all of this firepower with the Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, yada yada yada. What can you do on it? What's performance like? What am I going to be getting out of this machine? Well, let me tell you. General web browsing and doing emails and Word documents and creating PowerPoint presentations is an absolute breeze. From a business perspective, this laptop being as light and thin as it is, it's absolutely brilliant. Multitasking web browsing and PowerPoint presentations, doing my emails on Outlook and Google Mail, creating some Word documents. Multitasking these things was an absolute breeze. I couldn't make it choke once. I needed to push the boat out. So I installed Premiere Pro and was editing 4K B-roll of this laptop on the laptop. And just as a time frame, take these digits with a grain of salt, I managed to render out 4 seconds of 4K footage in Premiere in just under 10 seconds. Do with those numerals as you please, however rendering these things out did make the fans kick in. And it was noticeable because I'd never heard them ramp up before when I was doing my web browsing and general Word document testing. So, performance is, Alex, amazing, right? I mean, yeah, it's amazing, but I didn't stop there. I wanted to make this thing choke. Let's talk about gaming. Get out a wireless or wired mouse and you've got yourself a little portable gaming rig, I thought to myself. Yeah, I mean, that's the case if you want to play some light titles like Minecraft. I installed League of Legends and was managing to pull 100 FPS, playing League of Legends on very high settings. Interesting. It was very, very playable, as you can imagine, at 120 FPS. It was a very good gaming experience. Installing Far Cry 4 was a different story, however. I ramped down the settings to 720p and put the graphics on low, and I couldn't get above 25 FPS. Just as I thought, don't expect to play any AAA titles on this thing, but if you want to do some light gaming, like online gaming, a bit of Minecraft or League of Legends, which is a fairly demanding game, but I managed to get 100 FPS on very high, yeah, light gaming, I'll give it an okay. Big games, I'd look somewhere else. I don't think that's who LG are aiming this laptop for, however though. I think this is for creative professionals who need something small and lightweight to take on the go. I can imagine a businessman with this laptop. Absolutely brilliant for that, and then he brings it back to his workplace and connects it to his monitor via the single USB-C cable, puts power to the laptop with his mouse and keyboard connected up to the monitor. All he has to do is plug in that USB-C cable. I can imagine this for creative geeks if you want to do a little bit of Photoshop work or a tiny little bit of work in Premiere. As I've said, 4K editing works absolutely fine. If you're a light gamer and want a game on the go, this thing is absolutely fine. And also, if you want to do a little bit of conferencing, this is what the inbuilt camera looks like. Absolutely unflattering angle with the camera down there on the bottom bezel, but the quality's not too bad, and the microphone quality, yeah, you can make calls on this thing. I'll give it a thumbs up. LG are claiming all-day battery life on this, and on the website they say 12 hours of battery. And yeah, this may be correct if you put it in the LG hibernate mode, but this disables the wallpaper, changes the brightness, and adjusts system settings to take away pretty much all the performance. In real-world testing, I got about 2.5 hours under full load of 4K editing, and about 4.5 hours of general web browsing, doing emails and Word documents. It comes with some software called the LG Control Center, and I really hate it when companies put this sort of software on their machines when it's sent out, but this one is actually really, really good. You can do things like change the performance, put it into the hibernate mode, so you get a little bit extra battery life. You can do things like toggle off and on the fans if they're making too much noise. With this, obviously, it will ramp down and throttle the CPU. You can even lock the FN button, so you can go ahead and change your brightness and open up all the control center without having to hold the FN button down and do them at the same time. So it's kind of like a Mac, and I really like that. So that has been my review, guys, of the 2017 LG Gram. I think it is an absolutely phenomenal machine, and honestly, it's blown me away. Its portability factor, its capability factor, and its battery life are all phenomenal, and I would 100% recommend this laptop. Obviously, if you're just doing some light stuff, I wouldn't say gaming, but it can easily handle 4K editing, creative work, and definitely, easily enough going to be there for you if you're a businessman and you're wanting to come and hook it up to a monitor when you get back to the office. This thing's awesome. It gets a TechFlow 4.5 stars. My name's been Alex. This has been TechFlow. We'll catch you in the next one.